When my husband and I arrived at my in-laws' house, my mother-in-law smiled at us but only invited my husband inside. When I tried to enter, she gave me a harsh look and said, "You're not needed here," before slamming the door in my face. I was shocked. I opened the door again, but she glared at me and said, "I heard your parents are in debt. We don't need a wife like that," and slammed the door again. I stood there in disbelief, holding my bags. I could hear my husband and mother-in-law laughing inside. I realized I didn't need to be treated like this, so I left quickly. My name is Nancy. I'm a 32-year-old doctor working at the hospital my parents own. I met my husband, John, when he came to our hospital for treatment. He's charming, friendly, and seems mature for his age. We got married after a year of dating. John works as a vice president at his father's company. His parents were excited when we got married. Your parents run a big hospital, and now we have a doctor as our daughter-in-law. We're so happy to have you, Nancy, my mother-in-law would say. We visited my in-laws every year for holidays. They always welcomed us with open arms. I would bring food and drinks as gifts, and my mother-in-law would let me relax while she cooked. Even when I offered to help, she'd say, "Nancy, you work hard as a doctor, just relax. Your family doesn't need you to do anything," and my husband would agree. I always looked forward to these visits. But today was different. My mother-in-law looked at me with cold, angry eyes, like I was her enemy. I had never seen her like that before. She had always been kind when she visited my parents. I have a younger brother who's also a doctor, and we both work at the hospital our parents founded. My father had called me recently about his health, but he never mentioned any debt. As I was driving home, I remembered a conversation I had with John a week ago. We were both home at the same time and talking for once. "Dad's retiring," I told John. "His eyesight isn't good enough for surgery anymore, so they're closing the hospital." John looked surprised. "What? Is the hospital closing because of debt?" "I'm not sure about the debt, but they're selling the hospital property, and I won't be working there anymore. I'll be taking a break," I explained. Before I could say more, I had to leave for work. "We'll talk later," I said, but we didn't have time after that. John said he was busy at work, and we barely spoke after that. I think John misunderstood our conversation. He must have told his family that my parents' hospital was closing because of debt and that I was somehow involved in paying it off. That's probably why my mother-in-law treated me so coldly. I was lost in thought when I realized I had driven off with John's phone still in my bag. I had never checked his phone before, but I decided to look since it kept ringing. I pulled over, unlocked it with his birthday, and saw messages from a woman named Susan. "I want to see you soon. I wish I could be with you forever. I'll be with my wife during the new year, but I'll miss you. I plan to leave her once I get the money. I love you the most, Susan." It looked like John had been cheating on me. I had always thought John's family was kind. I felt sick looking at his phone and couldn't believe what I was seeing. I went to his study to look for more proof. I found photos of him with a woman I didn't know, from a trip they took, and some hotel receipts. There were other shocking things too. I couldn't handle it, so I went to my parents' house. When my mother opened the door, she was surprised to see me. "Why are you here so late? You look pale. Are you okay?" Seeing her caring face, I started crying. She wrapped me in a blanket, and my father asked what had happened. I told them about how my in-laws treated me and how John had betrayed me. My mother was shocked, and my father was furious. "It's awful," my mother said. "It's unforgivable," my father added. It turned out John's family business was struggling, and they often asked my father for financial help, which he had given. "Maybe you should play along and see their true colors," my father suggested. The next day, I went back to my in-laws' house. I shouted at the door, "I'm sorry for being a bad wife, please let me in." I brought some fancy gifts. They let me in. My mother-in-law smiled greedily when she saw the gifts, but my father-in-law and husband just stared at me coldly. "We only treated you well because we thought your family was rich," my mother-in-law said. "Now that we know your family's hospital is in debt, you're just a hardworking wife." "I understand," I said. After that, they started treating me horribly. "Start cooking," she ordered, pushing me into the kitchen. I made the food with the ingredients I brought, and they all ate greedily. "We're out of wine, bring the next bottle." "This is all you cooked? You may be a smart doctor, but you're a terrible housewife," they complained. After they finished eating, I tried to have some food, but my mother-in-law slapped my hand, making my fork fall. "What do you think you're doing? Housekeepers eat leftovers in the kitchen," she snapped. "Am I a housekeeper now?" I asked. How dare you talk back, with your family's debt? John, do you agree with her? She asked. I never liked your attitude, Nancy, John said. I just put up with it because I thought your family was wealthy. Listen to Mom, I'll keep you around as a housekeeper. Hearing this, I realized John had only married me for my family's wealth, and he had been pretending all along. I was devastated. That night, I was made to sleep in a cold shed with no bed. My mother-in-law gave me old towels and cardboard to use. I understood their true nature now. Thankfully, I had recorded everything they said. I had no more business with them. That night, as I lay in the freezing shed, anger towards John and his parents kept me warm. I would never forgive them. Late that night, after my in-laws and John passed out drunk, I drove back to my parents' house. I slept well, but early the next morning, as I was packing, the door flew open. My mother-in-law and John stormed in. You think you can just leave without making us breakfast? My mother-in-law shouted. Why are you running off and leaving your husband? John stood beside her with a cruel look. I realized my father-in-law was away at work, so it was just the two of them. I'm done with both of you, I said firmly. John laughed. Fine, we'll divorce, but if you file first, you'll have to pay me compensation. You could sell your parents' hospital land to cover it. He tossed me a printed divorce form. Sign it, or I will, he threatened. I looked at it calmly. Great, that settles it. You really think my family's broke and I have no choice but to cling to you? They both stiffened. I continued. My father did retire and close the old hospital, but he sold it and is opening a new one by the train station. My brother and I will run it. We're not in debt, we have plenty of money and assets. John's face went pale. My mother-in-law stammered. That can't be true, you tricked us. Actually, it's the truth, I said, and by the way, my father is calling back the $100,000 he loaned to your company. John's eyes widened. How did you know about that? We don't have that money. He looked at his mother, desperate. Then he turned to me. Nancy, I'm sorry, I should have defended you. I'll protect you from now on. I shook my head. Protect Susan, you mean? I held up John's phone and showed him the cheating messages from a woman named Susan. His face turned red with sweat. He dropped to his knees, begging. It was a fling. I'll break it off. Please forgive me. I wasn't done. There's more, I said, pulling out a life insurance policy someone took out on me, and a pamphlet marked about tampering with car brakes. You planned to kill me, too. The police know all of this. John's face went white. I just need money, please help me. Don't joke, I said. From now on, we'll talk through our lawyers. I never want to see you again. John lunged at me, but my father and brother rushed in, held him back, and protected me. My mother-in-law stood frozen. I turned to them both. This house is in my name. I'll sell it. You must move out immediately. With my brother's help, John and his parents were finally forced to leave. Later, I divorced John. I got full compensation, and even money from Susan's side. John begged to come back, but I threatened the police if he didn't stop, and he vanished. Through my lawyer, I recovered the $100,000 loan from my father-in-law's bankrupt company. Now, his business has collapsed under heavy debt. He, my mother-in-law, and John live in a small apartment, juggling low-paying jobs but still struggling. I, on the other hand, am the director of our new hospital, working every day to help people. I bought myself a cozy apartment nearby and finally feel free and happy living my own life. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more great stories. Don't forget to tap the notification bell, so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts in the comments, we love hearing from you. See you next time, and take care.